Foster's Melbourne Cup, and there's an electrifying roar from the crowd. Over on its outside was buildup, then Lord High Terrific's going to win the cup for Lee Friedman. Terrific kicked away and wins the Grinnell off the lead. Terrific first.
The 1989 Spring Racing Carnival, proudly brought to you by Foster's Lager, It's Got the Flavour, State Bank Victoria, and the new 1990 Nissan Pintara, the power to please.
The light is flashing for the Melbourne Cup, and there they go. And the great mare, Empire Rose, bounced out quickly with Kosh King on the outside. Back towards the inside, and Research began well. Celis Opera away well with Pacific Mirage, and Superimpose has gone to the front on settling down. Research moving up with Go Pack further out in the track, and Stylish Century, the 3-year-old, left the gate well. He's moving up towards the lead, and further out on the track, Power of Destiny, the jockey's lost the cap. Ideal Sentiment further out, and Empire Rose looking for a position. On the outside of her is Kosh King as they come to the 400-metre mark on the first round of the Melbourne Cup, and Power of Destiny in front. Kosh King will go up second, and Stylish Century throwing his head about. He wants to run the 3-year-old. I think Moses is going to have to let him go. He won't settle down. Stylish Century, he's third in the middle. Empire Rose fourth from Ideal Sentiment. Superimpose over on the rail. On the outside then is Sea Legend, followed further back by Research as the 3-year-old goes to the lead. With a lap to go in the Melbourne Cup, and Stylish Century takes up the running. Stylish Century goes out of the straight by a length. Kosh King is second, and Power of Destiny third. Empire Rose has caught out 3 deep around Ideal Sentiment. Superimpose on the rail. A length further back in the field then came Research. Saving ground inside, Sea Legend and Fleetwood Ladders out 3 deep, a length and a half. Hidden Rhythm. Go Pack Coods, and then Lord Highbrow. Plume de Ville followed by Terrific. Further back in the field then came on the outside Palace Revolt. Then came Kate's Mill, Pacific Mirage. Further back Saratov. Then came on the outside of it, came at the head of the other Celis Opera, followed by the Phantom. Citizen last of the main bunch, and 5 lengths to Cold Diesel, who's tailed off. Up with 1,600 metres to go in the Melbourne Cup, and Empire Rose moves around the outside to go up second behind the 3-year-old Stylish Century. Stylish Century into the back of the Melbourne Cup, led by a length to Empire Rose. Third then Kosh King. Fourth on the fence is Power of Destiny from Ideal Sentiment. Fleetwood Ladders racing wide, then Superimpose. 2 lengths further back, Research saving ground. Sea Legend going around it. Then Hidden Rhythm followed by Coods, and further back Go Pack. They're followed by Lord Highbrow, Terrific, Plume de Ville, Celis Opera, followed by Palace Revolt. Then Saratov, Citizen a mile from them with the Phantom. And 8 lengths last of all, Cold Diesel can't keep up. And as they race up with about 900 to go, and Coods has swept around the outside to go to the lead from Kosh King and then Stylish Century. Empire Rose has lost her position from Fleetwood Lad. Empire Rose is losing ground there. They've gone past her, followed by Power of Destiny and Sea Legend, but the imported Coods the leader. Up to the bend, it's Coods by 3 lengths. Around the outside goes Palace Revolt, followed by Hidden Rhythm. Empire Rose behind them, then Stylish Century dropping out. Superimpose is bumming with Fleetwood Lab when they turn for home. In the straight they race in the Melbourne Cup. Coods the leader. Superimpose is ranging up now. It's the danger. Superimpose, and down the outside Lord Highbrow, and Terrific with a great run. It's Superimpose getting to the front with about 200 metres to go. Gouchy riding hard. Here's the stablemate Terrific. Fighting back is Coods. Here's a great go. 200 to go. Terrific coming at Superimpose. Terrific doing better in the Melbourne Cup, and Terrific is going to win the Cup. Terrific gets up to win. Superimpose is second, Coods third, a nose in front of White Out the Phantom fourth, and then Citizen. Further back in the field then came Lord Highbrow, Plume de Ville, Sea Legend. Then Research, Power of Destiny, Kate's Mill. Back behind them then Pacific Mirage. Empire Rose has run a poor race. Then Go Pack, further back Ideal Sentiment at the head of the others, then pulling up Hidden Rhythm, followed by Fleetwood Lad. Cold Diesel is pulling up quickly, back there with its Stylish Century. Kosh King, one of the last 10 in the race. Pulling up is Palace Revolt. There's a riderless horse, I think it may be Celis Opera. Celis Opera has lost the right. Saratov, is it? Celis Opera and Saratov. 2 greys have lost their rider, and number 6 is the winner. of the Melbourne Cup of 1989, number 6, Terrific, ridden by Shane Dye. Number 6, Terrific, ridden by Shane Dye, has won the Melbourne Cup for 1989. The judges call for the photo for the minor placings to separate the stablemate of Terrific, and that's Superimpose and Kuds for second placing in the time of 3:17.1, which is a new record. A new record, and number 6 is in the frame. The Lee Friedman trained Terrific has won the Melbourne Cup. Number 6, Terrific, ridden by Shane Dye, has won the Melbourne Cup. After Stylish Entry pulled its way to the lead, it was a beaten horse well before the turn. Empire Rose was gone at the 800-metre mark. Superimpose loomed up after Kuds had dashed to the front. Superimpose racing up, getting its nose in front, but then on the scene appeared the stablemate to Superimpose, Terrific, with a withering run, and Terrific has, at its 48th race start, taken out the Melbourne Cup for 1989. What a magnificent training effort by Lee Friedman to win the Melbourne Cup. And he might even have the Quinella. Yes, he has. Number 2, Superimpose, has run second, so the stablemates have run first and second in the Melbourne Cup, and number 9 has run third. Number 9, Kuds, ridden by Michael Clark. Runners returning after the Melbourne Cup, and Shane Dye wins his first ever Melbourne Cup here at Flemington aboard Terrific. Terrific winning the Melbourne Cup, and here the winner returns after the running of the big event, and Dye doffing his cap to the crowd. Gauchi, I believe, had the choice of mounts, and I think Darren went the way of Superimpose at his own choice. And just when he looked to have victory in his sights, along has appeared Terrific to beat him. Third in is Kutz, who dashed away and looked a great chance when they turned for home after setting up a big lead. The Phantom has come home to run fourth. And now here's another riderless horse, the 2 greys that did come to grief here.
Another lap,
Celis Opera and Saratov. This has gone one circuit already, Celis Opera, and she's on her way around again. At the moment, the crowd's stirring her up, and there's not much chance of her stopping at the moment.
Just before the 600.
Just before the 600, the fall has happened well back in the field there, and things got tight, and the 2 greys were the 2 to come down. At the 200-metre mark, Superimpose had beaten off Kuds, but that's when Terrific, about 6 out, has appeared. Clark of the course getting the Bronx cheer from the crowd as he chases after Celis Opera. You wouldn't have that job for all the tea in China, would you? And it's been an easy win by Terrific in track record time. Terrific, the winner of the Melbourne Cup, number 6, by Tower Fig from Joyety, raced by Mr. Zell Lillycrap, MJ Secretan. Well, they're the people who bred the winner here, along with the NT Broderick. The connections, of course, are Barry and Midge Griffiths, along with V.F. Avery and Ed McKeon, the Bay Stallion. Terrific. It's a fantastic training feat by Lee Friedman, Richard Friedman and Anthony Friedman. Great effort by the boys. 2 runners in the Melbourne Cup, and they've run first and second with Terrific and Superimpose. Let's have a look for the toe dividends after the Melbourne Cup. The winner, Terrific, on the Victorian TAB, paying $13.60 and $3.95. Superimpose $3.15, and Kuds $4.65. $13.60 and $3.95. $3.15, $4.65 for third. Quinella for the stablemates, $109.25. The double, $352.35. The extra double, 2 and 6, $68.30. There'll be a huge dividend coming up for the trifecta for Victorian punters and punters anywhere that have taken this trifecta in the Cup. We'll have that in a moment as Jockey Dye steps onto the scales and now is faced by the media as he comes from the scales now, and What a feeling it must be for Shane Dye to win the Melbourne Cup. Runners returning. Just see if they've captured the horses are on the loose here along the back of the track. Yes, there's one of them that has been caught. I think that, yes, that is Salis Opera. And the other grey, Saratov, still to be caught. And we'll have notification from the scales. And to the 3 years Ed staff down there over at the hospitality tent, your message is there loud and clear. Loud and clear, thank you. After the Melbourne Cup. The runners have come back. We're just waiting on the trifecta to come up on the Melbourne Cup here. And for our staff there in the infield, I return the same message to you all. Thank you. Trifecta shortly on the Melbourne Cup. There's correct weight. Weight is right. Number 6, the winner of the Cup. Number 6, Terrific, and a boil-over win. Shane Dye beating number 2, Superimpose, ridden by Darren Gauci. Darren has now run second in the Melbourne Cup on 2 occasions. Shagamar behind a Black Knight, and almost did it this year as well. Third, number 9, Kuds. And the margins are 2 1/4 lengths by a short half head, and a track record of 3:17.1. 2 1/4 by a short half head. And weight is right on the Melbourne Cup. 6, 2, 9. Officially 4th is number 15, and number 15 is the Phantom. 5th home is number 3, Lord Highbrow. And placings are official on the Melbourne Cup. 6, 2 and 9, and we still await the trifecta dividend. We'll have that shortly.
Lights on. Racing in the Cup. Empire Rose jumped well. Kuds didn't begin very well. Kosh King away nicely with Ideal Sentiment. Coal Diesel drifting across their heels quickly towards the rails early. Superimpose one of the first out. Pacific Mirage jumped okay. So did Research, handy to them early. Go-Pack up there on the outside with Stylish Century going forward. There's the Power of Destiny. He's lost his cloth cap early and he sprinted to the lead. Ideal Sentiment came across with him. Empire Rose up about 4th or 5th, settling down, and Kosh King's on her outside and a great charge early. And Coal Diesel settled down 3 lengths last of all at the 2,600 metre mark, and Power of Destiny the pilot. Stylish Century fighting against Moses is second. Kosh King on his outside. Superimpose the rails as 4th from Ideal Sentiment. Empire Rose 3 wide when they go to the post the first time. She's moved up to 4th. Then came Research and Sea Legend together. Fleetwood Lad 3 wide. Wonder Hidden Rhythm, Go-Pack. Then Kuds and Lord Highbrow, Plume d'Orvier. Terrific was next in the field. He was being followed by Kate's Mill, who's wide around Palace Revolt. Further back in the field came Pacific Mirage on the rails and a length to Saratov. Then the Phantom, Salis Opera, and Citizen last of all when they race to the riverside. They've gone past the 2,000 metre mark, and Moses let the Derby winner stride, and Stylish Century found the lead. Empire Rose out 3 wide, went up on his outside. The favourites are 1 too early, 1,800 metres to go. Kosh King sits back a length. Back behind those, Power of Destiny 4th on the rails now in a break of about 2 lengths. Ideal Sentiment. Superimpose on the rails, followed by Fleetwood Lad. Then came Sea Legend. Research on the rails, about a length and a half to Hidden Rhythm and Go-Pack together. Then Kuds, Plume d'Orvier, followed by Lord Highbrow. Next is Terrific, Pacific Mirage, and then Saratov well back the fence. They're followed about a half a length away to Palace Revolt and Kate's Mill. The Phantom was next, and then came Citizen over on the inside. They were being followed further back in the field by Salis Opera, and about 5 or 6 lengths to Coal Diesel now. 1,200 metres left to go. On the inside here, the leader is Stylish Century. Still just the leader now as they sweep up towards the 1,000 metre mark. The 3-year-old is a narrow leader. Kosh King's gone up with him on the outside. A length away there's Kuds going around the outside of them to take the lead. And then came Power of Destiny, Empire Rose, Fleetwood Lad, followed by Hidden Rhythm, Palace Revolt and Ideal Sentiment. Sea Legend trying to come into it. Further back is Superimpose over on the rails from Lord Highbrow. Research a fair way back. They're starting to bunch now. Terrific pulls to the outside. Well back in the field is Go-Pack, Plume d'Orvier and the Phantom. Coal Diesel is second last. And as they sweep for home, I think Saratov has lost the rider. That's the one at the end of the field. Coods into the straight, the leader. When they sweep round the turn, down to the 400-metre mark, leads by 2 lengths, Superimpose. Here's Lord Highbrow and Terrific finishing well. 300 to go and Superimpose has hit the front. He's drawn level with Coods and put his nose in front. Lord Highbrow, Terrific run on down the outside. Superimpose in front. Coods fighting back and Terrific coming at them on the outside. Superimpose in front. Coods on the outside. Terrific wears him down. Terrific has hit the front. Terrific wins the Melbourne Cup by 2 lengths. Superimpose close for third between the Phantom on the outside and Coods the rails. Then came Citizen and Lord Highbrow. Bloom d'Orvilliers, Research and Sea Legend, followed by Power of Destiny, Pacific Mirage and Kate's Mill. Then came Empire Rose. They were followed further back in the field by Gopak. Then Ideal Sentiment. Further back in the field, the finish then was Hidden Rhythm, followed by Fleetwood Lad, Stylish Century, Coal Diesel, and then came Kosh King and Palace Revolt towards the rear of the field. We've had a fall. 2 horses have lost their riders. Saratov was one, and I think Salas Opera the other. Whereabouts did we see that fall? Did you see it, Chris? We've had a couple go just before the home turn. They were well back at the time, I think. Number 6 is the winner. Terrific, ridden by Shane Dye. Number 6, Terrific, has won the Melbourne Cup, ridden by Shane Dye. The judges called for a photo for second and third. It's a developed print between Superimpose and Coods. The Phantom close up on the outside of those horses. It's 6 and a photo in the Melbourne Cup at a developed print for the minors. Terrific has won the Cup. Lee Friedman may have just about quineled it. He might have done about Cummings. Terrific, the winner. As we await the minor placings to be semaphore, let's go down to Peter Booth in the mounting yard now.
Yes, Greg, Barry Griffiths, one of the part owners of Terrific. In fact, he's being mobbed by well-wishers.
I want my friends here. This is Ed McKeon. Hi, and Brian Avery.
Hi, Peter. G'day, Brian. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And what a way to win, to storm down the outside. It could be a stable Quinella.
Yes, wonderful jockey, Shane Dye. He's done everything we want asked him to do. And great for the Friedmans, a wonderful family to be associated with.
Okay, good on you, Barry. There'll be plenty of champagne tonight, won't there?
My word, they will. Thank you.
Okay. Greg, the part owners of...
Number 2 has run second. Superimpose, ridden by Darren Gauci. Number 9's run third. Coods, ridden by Michael Clark. It's 6, 2 and 9. 6, 2 and 9. Lee Friedman has quinelled the Melbourne Cup.
Absolutely fantastic. Okay, Greg, Terrific. Superimpose second and Coods third. And Lee Friedman is being mobbed by reporters down here. Anthony Friedman, stable foreman. Fantastic getting a Quinella in the Melbourne Cup, Anthony Friedman.
Unbelievable. Just lost for words. We thought we were some hope, but to win it is something, but the Quinella, it's just beyond the wildest dreams.
Good on you, Anthony. Well done. Greg Miles will call the horses back into the mounting yard.
Second placing to number 2, Superimpose, by Imposing from Ferris Fancy, ridden by Darren Gauci, giving Lee Friedman the first 2 horses home in the Melbourne Cup. And third, number 9, Coods, a brown gelding 7 by Master Woody from Lucky Old Me, trained by Colin Hayes and ridden by Michael Clark. Officially 4th in the race was 15, the Phantom, and 5th was number 3, Lord Highbrow. And they've broken Rain Lovers pace setter record, running 3:17.1. So a record in the Melbourne Cup. Terrific has won it, coming with a tremendously well-timed run to sweep past them. Coods had found his distance form. He and Superimpose knuckled down to fight it out, and over the top of them came Terrific with a brilliant finishing sprint. And he's drawn away and won the Melbourne Cup in record time by 2 lengths. Shane Dye, who teamed with Courtser to win all the classic 2-year-old races in the autumn, comes good with a gem of a ride on Terrific to win the Melbourne Cup. the winner of 2 St Ledgers, and this 5-year-old giving Shane Dye his first win in the race at only his 4th attempt. He was placed on Sea Legend in 1986, and Terrific following in the path of Gurner's Lane, who won the St Ledger, Farlap, Windbag and Glencoe, the 3 to do it before. He'd run 4th in the Brisbane Cup, 4th in Sydney, but on the one that mattered, the Melbourne Cup, he belied his recent McKinnon run. He didn't have a great deal of luck in the Moonee Valley Cup. 17th in the Caulfield Cup before that. The horse hadn't won a race since he took the St Ledger in Sydney on April the 8th. And I guess really a lot of people might have thought he was just a shade below that, the class necessary. But his breeding suggests that he just needed that extra year. I must confess that he was my Melbourne Cup tip early in the piece last year until Empire Rose did what she did on the McKinnon day. But he's just needed that extra year to mature. And it's been one of the brilliant finishing runs in the Melbourne Cup to break the record and win. Superimpose running 2nd, and 3rd placing going to Kudz. So 3 horses really finding form when it counts. Let's go back to Peter.
OK, Greg, I'm down in the mounting yard, and of course Lee Freedman's being mobbed by the reporters. We've spoken to his brother. But Colin Hayes, the trainer of the 3rd place getter Kutz, and Colin, you'd be delighted with that run of Kutz after the bad luck he suffered at this time last year.
Exactly, yes. Oh, yes, I was very thrilled with the run. He put up a very good performance, but, you know, you couldn't take me off Terrific or Superimpose. They both were just a little better on the day.
And full credit to the Freedmans getting the Quinella.
1st and 2nd, sure, that's great.
OK, thanks, Colin. OK, Colin Hayes, the trainer of the 3rd placed horse. Bernard Spain is with me. And Bernie, well, I think what we might do, seeing Cold Diesel really, along with Empire Rose, was one of the sentimental favourites in the Melbourne Cup. I see Greg Mance and Mick Robins, the stable foreman, and Michael Kerr and Diane Mance talking. And I'm just wondering whether Greg could just spare us a moment. Greg, we're live to air on the ABC network. And what happened to the Diesel outlast all the way?
Well, he just said he didn't travel at any stage, and he was very disappointed in the horse. He said he just didn't feel right from the time he got out of the barrier.
Weight is right. Greg Miles just posting correct weight upstairs on the Melbourne Cup. So you'd be disappointed naturally, Greg, because he never even gave you a flatter at all, did he?
No, he passed the tired ones in the finish. He finished about 8th or something, I suppose, 10th, did he? I don't know.
He's pulled up all right, though.
He pulled up too good, yeah.
OK, thanks, Greg, and commiserations to you and Diane on that performance. Now, Ron Hutchinson should be here somewhere. Here he is over in the mounting yard. There are hundreds of people here, as you can imagine. Ron, we're finally caught up with you. A stable Quinella in the Melbourne Cup.
Yeah, well, it's a great performance, training feat to win the 1st and 2nd. Marvellous performance.
Now, I heard Greg mention Power of Destiny with about 600 or 700 metres to go. Was he up there, or was it just my imagination?
Peter rode him a treat. He was a beautiful ride, and from outside alley from 20, and he's over leading in the first quarter mile, and got in behind, followed Stylish Century, and it was a great ride. I thought that Kutz, when you look at him, might have been a bit unlucky because he's had to go very quickly and around them probably a bit too soon, but you can't take it away from the winner. Terrific. He's come home from very, very fast. Superimpose was a great run too. Lovely ride by Gauchi, and you know, he was home, but the other horse outstayed him.
Same riding tactics employed on Empire Rose again this year to get her in a forward position from a wide barrier, but she was caught 3 wide.
Never on the track, was she? You know, she was doing it hard all the time, and you know, in those long races over such a long journey, they've got to be very, very good to do that.
OK, Ron, we'll stay here just for the moment.
It's a handy dividend for punters, paying $13.60 for the win and $3.95 for the place. Runner-up Superimpose will pay $3.15, and Kudz in 3rd place will pay $4.65. In other news,
Melbourne Cup in history has seen a 5-year-old outsider win Australia's richest turf prize. Terrific not only took the Flemington crowd by surprise, he also had a few shocks in store for trainer Lee Freedman. Andrew Bensley reports.
With plenty of early speed in the Cup, New Zealand mare and crowd favourite Empire Rose was trapped out wide the first time round and never got a chance to settle with the quick pace up front.
She's pulling out 3 wide towards the 1850. She works up on the outside, the joint stylish Century.
Caulfield Cup winner Cole Diesel came under threats prior to the race and was placed under security guard by stewards, and after being dropped to the rear in a ploy to give him every chance to settle, never gave a yelp.
He dropped out to last once again, still must be 25 lengths off the lead.
The eventual winner, Terrific, needed plenty of luck at the 800-metre mark with only 4 horses behind him.
Well back is Kate's Mill, followed by Terrific. In behind them as they approach the home turn of the 750 is Sedestin. Cole Diesel can't go on.
This is how Brian Markovic saw the closing stages of the Cup.
It's Ryder around the turn of the 650 in the Melbourne Cup, and Kutz now race to the lead. Empire Rose now pulls to the outside with Palace Revolt. Right off the track is Kate's Mill. Go Pack is back in behind them, followed by Sedestin, and boxing on is Power of Destiny. At the 400 though, Kutz kicked away a length and a half. Superimpose is coming out of the pack out after her, then Lord Highbrow, and now Terrific is winding up down the outside, coming quickly at the 250. Superimpose grabbed the lead. Terrific on the outside, the danger. Kutz is boxing on, then the Phantom from well back running home, but Terrific on the outside grabbed the lead 100 metres out, and it's Terrific for the Melbourne Cup. Terrific win by Terrific, wins by 3. Superimpose maybe second, tight for third, the Phantom and Kutz.
Terrific gave Shane Dye a riding double for the day and breaking the track record, starting at 30-1 from stablemate Superimpose at 25s, with Kutz third at 50-1. Unplaced favourite was Empire Rose at 9-2, and Connections retired the gallant mare that's captured the hearts of Australians after the race. The lead into the Cup on a perfect track on a perfect Melbourne Cup day was the Great Western. The favourite, the New Zealander, Royal Creation. Here's Brian Markovic again.
Royal Creation a mile back is now making up some ground, followed by Prince Ominium. Down the straight at the 300 now, Bistro Bow round to the lead. Swift's in quickly tackling it. Plush Embassy boxing on, followed by Prince Anton. And Royal Creation from well back is starting to fly. Swift's in though, gained a break of the 100, and it's a winning break. Swift's in wins by 2. Second, Royal Creation, a big run.
With Sydney jockey Darren Beedman aboard, Swift's in started at 14-1 from the 5-2 favourite Royal Creation, and Prince Anton third at 14-1. The second leg of the daily double was the Hardy Brothers Welter, and there was plenty of money to say that a foresaid could make it a bigger day for the Freedman stable.
On the outside, going quickly is Black and Fast. In the centre is Inca. Fighting Man is back on the rail, followed by Demon Fever. Gilda Lily buried away, needing a run, followed by Black Blaze, and back in behind them, King's Pavilion, who's now getting out. He was buried back. He's starting to run home quickly. King's Pavilion, followed by Elchin Farrar at the 150. Racing up now, Black Blaze grabbed the lead, tackled by King's Pavilion the outside. Black Blaze just in front. King's Pavilion drawing to it. Black Blaze and King's Pavilion. Black Blaze may have wanted a nose to King's Pavilion. Elchin Farrar third.
Black Blaze, written by Jim Cassidy, started at 9-1. King's Pavilion was second at 7-2, with Elchin Farrar third at 9-2. Unplaced favourite was aforesaid at 13-4. Andrew Bensley, National 9 News.
Checking the feature TAB results for the daily double of 6 Terrific and 9 Black Blaze, it paid $303.20. The quadrella for 7, 6, 4 and 9 returned $1,865.55, with today's quad extra numbers of 6, 4, 9 and 1, giving you a mammoth return of over $14,500. And while we celebrate one of our finest days in racing in this country, in Britain, leading jockey Greville Starkey told a court today that tests on an ultrasonic stun gun had what he called lethal effects on 2 of his daughter's ponies.
Greville Starkey was unseated from Ilder Sheep at Ascot last year when it was alleged that the gun was used to fix the race. Starkey arrived at court today after volunteering to take part in tests with the sonic gun. He said he wanted to prove to himself that the gun actually worked. The test took place at his own stud farm, which involved 3 ponies normally ridden by his daughter. But would it work at a noisy race meeting hidden in binoculars? The prosecution questioned whether the device was accurate enough to be behind a racing mystery. The evidence formed part of the trial against 3 men who deny conspiring to supply cocaine. And still